You'll always be home to me.
Cause baby now we've got it, but you know we used to be in love. So take a look what you've done. Cause baby now we've got it, but now we've got it. You don't think we can. You better really take it. And baby now we've got it, but did you have to do this? I was thinking that you could be trusted. Did you have to ruin what was shining? Now it's all rusted. Did you have to hit me
still got scars in the back from your knife. So don't think it's in the past. These kind of words, they last and they last. Now did you think it all through? All these things will catch up to you, and time can't heal with this wall. So if you're coming my way, just don't. Oh, it's so sad to think about the good times you went down. 'Cause baby, now we're done. To know we used to be. So take a look at time. 'Cause baby, now we're done. Now we're done. Shit, I don't think we can. Too many really take it. And baby, now we're done. Band-aids don't fix bullet holes. You say sorry just for show. You live like that, you live with ghosts. Band-aids don't fix bullet holes. You say sorry just for show. If you live like that, you live with ghosts. Shove your love like that, blood runs. 'Cause baby, now we're done. To know we used to be. So take a look at time. 'Cause baby, now we're done. Now we're done. Shit, I don't think we can. Too many really take it. And baby, now we're done. 'Cause baby, now we're done. To know we used to be. So take a look at time. 'Cause baby, now we're done. Now we're done. Shit, I don't think we can. Too many really take it. And baby, now we're done.
Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. The last one to know, the last one to show. I was the last one you thought you'd see there. And I saw the surprise, the fear in his eyes when I took his glass of champagne. And I chose to use it, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain. 'Cause I've got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. I'll be okay. Now I'm not big on social graces, think I'll slip on down
What's going on, everybody? Been a hot minute since you heard this voice on this channel. Only been about 3 races, but we're back. And we're back. We're going to kill it. I'm wearing Derrick Henry, a little Titan blue. I saw my man Abram Moon over there wearing some Titan blue too, and I said, I'm going to wear the team that not only runs the South, but the man that runs Darius Leonard into the ground one stiff arm at a time, Derrick Henry. Abram Moon, welcome to Texas, my friend. It's time. It's time for some Texas racing.
It's time. I'm excited. I'm ready for some great racing tonight.
We're all ready for some exciting racing in the Lone Star State of Texas. Got a lot of people out there in the chat. You got a little gifted subscriptions thanks to that man down there below. He gifted 6 subscriptions last time we went on air. Well, tonight I said, I got it back. I'm going to give back to the community too. You gifted some subs. We're going to give some subs back and give back to the people who are loyal every single week. So thanks for tuning in. And we were having a discussion, Abram, before we came on the air. And I said, we're doing a raffle in October. And I kind of need some fan comments to this because do you think we should do a wheel giveaway again?
Man, wheels are, I mean, that's like a big thing for raffles, man. People get excited about wheels, especially a quality wheel like what you have there right in front of you. I think people would be really excited about something like that.
Well, and we're doing it for a great cause. And so I really do. Bear, you're back. My man is back. That's the fan right there. But a wheel for the charity we're going to do the raffle for, the pinkatforward.org. Do the raffle for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But man, a G923 or a G920, I don't know which one we should do. We gave one away, but here at Texas, it's going to be hot, and they're going to need a good wheel, Abram. They're going to need a great wheel, as right now, TFR takes the proverbial pole so far with Matthew Fleming sitting P1 ahead of Sheldon Fettig.
Yeah, I've heard from several guys that the TFR guys have been out there practicing Texas quite a bit this week. Obviously, it's their home state. You know, they want to come out and show out for Texas. So I'm looking to see a bunch of those guys up the front tonight.
I'm excited to see what some of these young men are going to do out here on this racing surface. I have a wild feeling that this is going to become one of these type of races that you're going to have to come out, be aggressive, be fast, but there's not many that's qualified so far. Only 15 has put times down as we see, as we're looking at a live look at the Texas Motor Speedway here in the virtual world of iRacing. I love that we have a lot of fan participation out there. Comment it up. I put some new commands in there for a lot of people, and let's type this in the chat. !Discord. I'm going to give you an opportunity to come out into, actually, I have to give them admin rights. It's weird. Bot Streamlabs. I think that would work first. It didn't work, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out sometime during the stream. We'll give something out there. But 17 qualified so far. Not a whole lot of time. Jay Gimbel goes on the racetrack now. He's sitting in the 12th place position. Do you think this is a track that you have to qualify for, or is this one of those tracks that you could just kind of chill out?
The thing with Texas is I'm expecting to see a lot of single file racing tonight. That low line is king, and clean air is king. So from what I've been hearing from some guys at practice, they're going to have a lot of patience tonight. You know, there's not a lot of different, places you can run on this track. So you kind of got to wait, bide your time, wait for people to go side by side, and then get a big run off that. So I do think we'll see some patience, especially at the back of the field tonight.
So you see a lot of people potentially wrecking one another to get this win, because that's how I see it. I saw a race last night in IVRL where the win was taken by by moving them out of the way. Could we see that tonight? The TFR guys are clearly fast. Sheldon Fettig was fast. John Capps is fast as well. It's not a huge gap from one another as we are starting to grid. We'll take our cameras off of this screen, headed on down to the race. And this is going to be interesting as the field is ready on pit lane. Our cameras are ready. Abram's ready.
I'm
waiting
ready.
waiting on Byron to come back. I think Byron will be here very soon, I hope. If not, Abe, I think we're going to kill this tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night. It's going to be some good racing. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple early cautions. These cars can get a little bit out of shape if you got, a lot of air coming from behind you. So hopefully they can keep it straight and we'll get some green flag running. And the tire wear off, we're going to start seeing that about 12 to 15 laps. We'll start seeing guys slide up the track more, get closer to the wall on exit.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of different stuff here. I'm still trying to figure out on how to get this Streamlabs thing going. I really do I need to bot this thing, need to tell it to do what it's supposed to do. But it is not doing what I want it to do. But for the 32 out there that are watching, we do appreciate you for being here today. Let's see. Yep, you're right. There is a guy in the field. Ethan Ward in this number 16 Caterpillar Prime Gaming. That is our in-race reporter. You can see him right there. That is the Fairfield Driver Spotlight. You can head on over to fairfieldmotorsports.com and get all of your awesome RC and racing needs. We'll chat with him very shortly throughout this race and see what he's thinking about. He's starting next to Woody Woodard, not Woodward. So we'll get those two mixed up today. And Abe, any predictions on who's winning this race?
Well, first of all, I just got to say that I'm loving that Brad Kirby paint scheme. That Kellogg's making me hungry for some Frosted Flakes right now. But my prediction tonight, it's got to be Matthew Fleming. He's just one of the really solid guys we have in our league, and obviously this is a home track for him, so I expect to see him have a really good race tonight.
Yeah, that Beer Nuts Chevrolet is going to be fast. There's no doubt about it. Him on the racetrack with the TFR name under it. I'm sure there's a lot of TFR people in the chat that are cheering him on, knowing that he has an opportunity to win this race in the backyard for Texas Family Racing. He has the opportunity to take advantage of it along with Trevor Z. I'm not going to try to go down in here and pronounce his last name. He got very upset with me when I mispronounced it the last time. So Trevor, back here in this 23 MK2 Aerospace 3D Camaro, he didn't have a good showing in qualifying, but Abram, does that kind of make a difference here at Texas?
If you don't qualify well, his best bet is to just save those tires early and hope it goes green, and then later on in that run, he'll be able to pick off some spots.
Hopefully he could pick off some spots as it looks here. I know my producer told me before time that I had to show this on the last lap, but I want to show this on the initial start. So as they come to the green flag right here, we're going to watch every one of these cars, all 23 of these beautiful Graham Construction Xfinity Series machines, take the green flag. He's holding it in the air. Barney the flag man's got it. Green flag's in the air, and watch them roar by.
That's a beautiful shot right there, Terry.
Beautiful sight indeed. Matthew Fleming takes the lead going into turn number one. He's going to lead Sheldon Fettick as the top three have broken away. Leader pulls off. Fletcher had a great run last week at Watkins Glen, but this is not Watkins Glen. So what does he have to do to transition himself from a dominant performance at the road course coming into Texas, which is just polar opposites?
It is polar opposites. It's a completely different way of driving. He can do it. He's won at other tracks. He's won at, mile and a halfs last season in the Truck Series. So he definitely has a shot at it. It's just all about saving the tires, Terry. I mean, there's absolutely zero banking in 1 and 2, and that if you don't roll it in at the right spot, it just absolutely destroys your tires.
Coming back here, Sean Kastritza jumps to the inside. That's for P number 8. He's going to get to the inside of the 23 of Trevor. He's going to keep Trevor to the outside. And Abram, we talked about something before we got on the air about getting people to the second groove. We were having a discussion all the way around with a lot of other people was in there having the discussion with me of this is a one groove racetrack essentially. You have to be on the bottom. So with the 23 being on the outside, how hard is that going to be on his tires as he's looking to get passed by Levi McCarty?
Oh, yeah, that's tough. I mean, he's kind of stuck out there right now. He's kind of hoping that Levi gives him a little space to drop down there, but it doesn't look like Levi's going to allow him to do that. I mean, it just feels really bad when you're running a non-preferred line at a track like this where you know that your tires are getting beat up for it.
Tires getting beat up right here, and the defending champion from the Truck Series really I'm not going to say he hasn't found his footing in the Xfinity Series, because that would be a disrespectful statement to the defending Truck Series champion, but he hasn't been the consistent up front that we had looked for from him moving up to this next series. But as he races back here with Trevor for the 8th place position, do you see Levi coming on strong like he did last season in the Truck Series to progress himself up to potentially put himself in the championship bid?
Oh, I definitely think he will. I mean, the trucks drive like an absolute cloud. I mean, they're a dream to drive. These Xfinity cars drive more like a boat. So it's going to take a few races for some of these guys to kind of get the feel for the Xfinity cars. But I definitely expect to see him there in the last 8, running for a championship at the end of the year.
It's the first time I've ever heard somebody say it drives like a boat, but I'll take it. I like what we're saying here today is it's 2x2 right in front of him. Cole Thomas in that number 43, a Canadian. 2 Canadians in the field tonight. Him and Brad Kirby shared the luster of being Canadians in an all-American field, but those two, so 21 of the 23 machines that come out here tonight, born and raised here in the great US of A, but those Canadians are sneaky. Cole Thomas has been fast. He has been one of the most consistent drivers so far ever since he moved up to the Xfinity Series. We talked TFR being fast. Is this a sleeper pick running in 6th place? He's up 4 from the initial green.
I wouldn't even say sleeper, Terry. Cole has been absolutely phenomenal since he came up to the Xfinity Series. Kind of had a little chip on his shoulder, wasn't initially on the roster for the Xfinity Series, and he's just come out just absolutely on fire on the track, racing super well, races super clean, super fast. He's really fun to watch, and there was actually a lot of guys that I expected to see towards the front here, but none of them really pulled great qualifying laps. So I definitely expect to see guys like Cole, guys like Levi slowly make their way up to the front of the field.
Well, now he's starting to battle with the sponsor of this series, Kerry Moore, and the Graham Construction, owner of the business in that 84 Michelob Ultra Camaro. He's going to take a peek down there. Kerry's running that high to middle lane, trying to arc it through 3 and 4, gets a great run off of it. Actually going to get a very good run on John Capps, who for the first time, I can honestly say John Capps has been able to run 10 laps without getting caught up in an incident so far. So hopefully I don't jinx my man in the Miller Lite one. I'm a big Miller Lite fan. Hopefully I don't jinx him. And it's the Battle of the Beers. Battle of the Beers, Michelob Ultra, Miller Lite, P, number 4.
99 calories up against that beautiful Miller Lite, the 702 of John Capps. John Capps is one of the fastest guys we have in this series. He's just been a little bit unfortunate in a couple of past races, just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the calories in the beers, but yeah, that's a good one. I do appreciate that. And as soon as Byron Jones loads up, I think we have our third in the booth with us tonight. Man, I really wasn't thinking about the calories on that one. Yeah, light beer versus Michelob Ultra. It's Byron's not old enough to have beer yet, so he'll understand the difference of getting old and starting to put a beer gut on. As the battle for second starts to heat up right here, we see the 24 of Fletcher. He's having a good run up here. I talked about him having the Watkins Glen win. I mean, domination, just pure domination of that racetrack. Nobody could touch him, and now he finds himself in P3. Is it a big transition is it just plain confidence that he knows that he's one of the fastest guys out there, that he can go from all different platforms and get himself here for a potential win tonight?
Oh yeah, any win, regardless if it's on road or oval or super speedway, any win gets you feeling a little bit dangerous when you wake up the next day and the next time you're at the track. So when you know you can bring a great car to the track, unload it off the trailer, and know that you can win, it's a great feeling. He's having a really good run right now. Looks like he's just kind of comfortable riding behind right now, just letting others make the mistakes. That's kind of the way you have to pass here at Texas.
And Byron, you called that race, and for your one of your first times calling an iRacing show alone, you just saw plain annihilation on the field. just kind of walk through the confidence that he showed in the post-race interview to put himself in this position here tonight.
Oh, I mean, Fletcher, he was set. Obviously, he knew what was going on. He came in. He said road courses was his thing. He was set for it. And he came in and just absolutely dominated the entire field and made that sentence known. He came out. He dominated, like I said. He came in. He said he's excited for Texas. Obviously not one of his better tracks, but he is doing excellent, as we do have a caution out on the track.
Do have a caution on the track. Fireball Woody is the person that brings out the very first yellow here, clips the grass. Dale Jr. did a little bit. I remember watching old Earnhardt Jr. go through the grass, but he almost had it saved. Ooh.
Man, you hate to see that. Looked like he was going to save it. Luckily, nobody else got involved in that. I'm surprised John Capps didn't come out of nowhere and somehow get involved in that one. But John Capps, luckily, he is safe after that.
And not to shoot a shot at my Volunteers, but that looked like the University of Tennessee in the second half to Florida. Just absolute disaster for Fireball Woody right there. But while we're under this, let's go have a quick discussion with our in-race reporter. He's been waiting on this one, and I've been telling him we were going to get him. And now we finally got him. Ethan Woodward is going to join us. And Ethan, it is the booth. What's going on, my friend?
Good. You?
Doing fantastic up here. I'm going to go find your car back here. You're in the 19th spot as we sit. You're up 3 positions right now. How do you get yourself up into this spot to potentially win the race?
Well, right now, I'm just going to be kind of like Tyson back here, hitting my marks and focusing on not wrecking.
Well, I do like that I hear myself in the background. It means to tell me that you actually listen to what we say up here, and maybe we could teach you some advice out here on this racetrack. We got 2 very good racers in my ear. Me, not so much. But Abram or Byron, do you have any advice for the young driver that could potentially go up here and steal this win at Texas?
Yeah, just save those tires, man. Save those tires. Run your race. Don't worry about what everybody's doing in front of you. Hit your marks. Keep your car clean. And you'd be surprised how many spots you can gain, especially late on in a run.
Thank you. I'm still trying to figure out turn 1 right now.
Turn 1 is flat. You just got to roll it in and just let the car glide through there, and then just get back into the throttle. Right, you'll know when it's the right time. If it's the wrong time, you'll be sideways.
All right.
Most definitely. Practicing on this track, I mean, the best thing I found was dragging those brakes just a little bit. It saves your tires in those late runs, and you'll find yourself up maybe 5-10 positions once it's all set.
Yeah.
Well, Ethan, we appreciate having you as our in-race reporter. You are the Fairfield driver spotlight tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your camera. And I see you're an Alex Bowman fan. If you win this race, I think we could take care of something for you. So if you win this race, I am putting a die cast on the line from Alex Bowman's win earlier this season.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's a deal, all right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hey, that's good. I didn't know if y'all noticed. I got the Ally T-shirt on. It's the Nashville races.
If you win the race, I'm gonna get you an Ally 48 Chevy Camaro sent to you. All right.
All right.
All right,
yeah,
buddy.
Sounds good.
We'll talk to you later.
All right. We'll see you.
That is Ethan Woodward. Let me make sure I get him to the right chat right here. I believe he's up in this one. Team Woody is where he goes back to. And did he seem more confident tonight? He had that swag going with him.
He did have that smile. You can tell he loves racing, and you love to see that. And hopefully he can make a good run of this tonight.
Oh, Byron.
He's got a good-looking car too.
He does have a good-looking car. You can now connect, Byron. Go back and use the same thing you sent me. I just now saw that one. So we run across this here, and it was not a surprise. And a lot of people out there in the chat knows that this isn't a surprise either. Sheldon Fettick was able to keep up with the number 8 of Matthew Fleming. His best lap so far is a 30.61. The 2 behind him, Fletcher and Sheldon, both ran a 30.69. Is that a big difference across the board, or is that something that it just progressively over time gets worse, Byron?
Yeah, I don't know. it all comes down to sort of how you attack it. It can be multiple ways. Just gotta be fast. At the end of the day, you gotta be that one that's gotta be fast, gotta be consistent, and you gotta obviously have your tires saved to be that top dog.
And Abram, when it comes around to a long green flag run here, we didn't see a long green flag run last time we came to the Lone Star State, but it was trucks, and you talked about how easy they drove. They float through the corners, and it's very easy to find yourself in a predicament here. What's the biggest difference here? Is it the heaviness of the stock cars, or is it just flat out that we can't handle it?
It really is. I mean, these, like I said earlier, these Xfinity cars, they do drive like a boat. I mean, you're here at Texas, you're just tight all the way through the middle, all the way till exit. It's tough. I mean, the trucks, they're just built for a mile and a half like this. I still think we'll get a great long run here. Obviously, this is only our third or fourth race of the season. And these Xfinity cars, they are a handful. That's why I'm up here in the booth, because I don't have as much time to practice right now, so I don't want to go out there and make a fool of myself. So figure I'd come into the booth and do that instead.
It's okay. I made a fool of myself last night at Martinsville. Having a little bit of glitchiness here on the stream. We might take this. I'm going to close something real fast. Just to, oh no. We're going to take this to a commercial real fast. I am an idiot. And we're going to call this radio style. You two are going to have to pick it up. I accidentally closed out of the wrong thing.
We are good. We are going green flag racing at Texas. Matthew Fleming off to a great jump. Top three kind of pulled away just a little bit. Everybody's running side by side, running real clean right now as we stand.
Yeah, Sheldon Fettig able to use up that top side, now going to get a huge run down the backstretch on that 8 of Matthew Fleming, but don't count out that 24 of Fletcher Quigley. He is Quigley quick, as Woody would say, on through 3 and 4. This is where guys start to get loose, but Matthew Fleming going to be able to keep it straight and keep it out to a comfortable lead right now.
It looked like Fletcher wanted to send it there into the corner there in 3, and it looks like he thought better of it, and you definitely see him back it down and not try to get underneath Sheldon there.
Now, the worst thing is at a track like this is using up your tires too early, because I tell you what, practicing with some of these guys, they burnt it up way too early, found themselves almost dropping to the 3 seconds off later in the run. Right now, Matthew keeping that car out loud and proud, but the 41 of Sheldon Fettig is not giving up, and he's trying to reel him back in.
Yep, definitely trying to reel him back in, but clean air is king here at Texas. For Sheldon to make a pass on Matthew, he's definitely going to have to get to the rear of that and kind of upset Matthew and upset the line he's running. Just try to do anything, really, to get by him. Matthew's showing some great speed early on.
Yeah, Sheldon Fettig now getting closer and closer to his bumper, but Fletcher trying to close that gap also. Sheldon and Matthew now getting ready to get close side by side, but Sheldon falling off even more. Matthew is having great strengths coming out of 4, but the worst thing is could they possibly get too loose, man? Sorry, looking at that, some guy got really, really close to tapping a bumper, almost going around, but the 84 Kerry Moore, 704 of John Capps, and the 23 Trevor Zalesny, I believe is how you say it. They're finding themselves 4, 5, and 6, trying to track down your top 3.
And we're
Trevor
back.
Just made a great pass on John Capps there for P number 4.
Yeah, we made it back. Sorry, a little technical difficulty on my end. I'm an idiot. I managed to click the wrong button and close the wrong side down of what I didn't need to close, so that's on me. I'll take that one right here, resetting this for the people that luckily nobody tuned out. Matthew Fleming still holds this lead. Sheldon Fettig's right there. Ooh, Seven Crawford almost had a big moment.
For a second, I thought he was going to go around. Looks like he does have some right side damage on that race car, though. I was looking in. Doesn't seem like aero was too effective when we did do our practice races, but 7, wow, his right side's all beaten up. Now getting passed by the 86 of Thomas DeLago. He's going to go around him with ease. 46 also got rear end damage. How about that? Guys are getting wrecked, rusty, and fussy right now at the Lone State.
Yeah, definitely doesn't feel good to have aero damage here. The cars are already tough enough to turn here in the corners, and to have that damage on your front right, that's just going to feel terrible for him. He's definitely hoping for a caution soon.
Yeah, the battle for the lead still heating back up. Here comes Sheldon Fedek. He's doing everything he can to get in front of that 8 machine. He's been the fastest guy so far, but now the top 4 have separated themselves a little bit from John Capps. It's a 1-second lead from first to fifth, and the toe that the 41 just got on the 8 down the back straightaway was massive, as the 8 seems to be having just a tad bit of a blink issue right there, but nothing too crazy. Actually, a lot of people in here are starting to have a little bit of blink issue, but 41 gets a great run. And Byron, I don't know if you've done any practice here. I know, Abram, you've done some here. The draft at this track is just enormous.
Yeah, I actually took up on some practice they had going on Monday night. I was open free, so I decided to hop in. Yeah, draft's insane, and once you get, I would say, about 3/10 within someone, it's just like you get a jet engine attached to your race car, and it just pulls you right up to the guy right in front of you. Hardest part, though, is sort of making a pass. Like we said early on, it is a one-lane track, so these guys got to be aggressive, wait for someone to make a mistake and capitalize on it. But right now, the 8 of Matthew Fleming is being able to do everything he can, keeping that car maybe 2-3 wide, as he's only a one wide race car, as he's now starting to get some pressure from that 41 and Sheldon Fedek.
Starting to get pressure on the back bumper right there of that number 8. The lead has been where the battle is. A lot of guys coming off a big win so far. Sheldon Fedek got a win just a little while ago. Matthew Fleming got a win earlier this season. We already know Fletcher dominated here. Now Trevor, he wants to go out there and put that aerospace Chevy Camaro in victory lane here tonight. And like I said, these top 4 have pulled away. John Capps has fell back. Kerry Moore's moved to the 5th place position. And here comes Sheldon for the lead down in the back straightaway into 3.
It's like Sheldon's going to send it here in the corner. Can he make it stick? Look for Fletcher to have a big run here if he can't. And he does make it stick.
Wow, he made that stick, and now the 8 is dropping. He stuck to the outside. Here comes the 24 and the 23. He's going to jump to the outside to maybe give a little bit of push to his TFR teammate on the outside to give him some help, but he quickly gets back down to the bottom. He's going to allow himself to get around here as the blink continues. Now the 24 goes to P number 3, and now there is a battle right here. Kerry Moore and Thomas DeLago, the 2 sponsors, fighting it out.
And like we were saying, Terry, I mean, we saw what happened to Matt when he got to that high line. It just, he couldn't stick it up there. And, you know, Fletcher and Sheldon made just a great pass on him.
Byron.
And sorry about that. Didn't know if that was going back to you, but now you're starting to see the effect of the guys. Their tires are coming into effect. I found it about maybe 20, 30 laps into my run. We were starting to get pushed up the track through 1 and 2. 3 and 4 was still the same. The only thing is once you get off 4, I have felt to have raced it before, long green flag pit stops. It's almost like a magnet. It wants to drag your car in. But you'll see, now these guys are starting to move to the mid-low lane, still trying to keep it on the low lane, obviously. Now you're starting to see that filtration out of the guys that sort of backed up, saved their tires, versus the guys that were pushing it way too early and now finding themselves in the middle of absolutely nowhere in the ocean, and they're having to swim their way back to the island.
Murphy's Law, thank you so much for subscribing with Prime Gaming. You can subscribe with Amazon Prime on your computer. If you actually click on the screen, it's at the right, the left-hand side of the screen, free loot. It allows you to attach your Amazon Prime with your Twitch. Gives you 1 free subscription to your favorite broadcaster or your favorite streamer. It does not have to be me, but take advantage of what you pay for, as there is a battle for the 8th place position between Brandon Ward and Levi McCarty. It's been an interesting battle so far to see that Fairfield Traxxas Supra, one of the only Supras in the racing that we have so far here this afternoon, to go up here and battle with a man like Brandon Ward. And Brandon's come on hot lately, Abram. We've seen him make some great moves, struggled at the road courses, but when we get to these 1.5 miles, he starts to pick the pace up.
He does start to pick the pace up. He's not a slow driver. He does have some speed there. He just gets into trouble sometimes late in the run, doesn't quite understand what that car is going to do on those old tires, and can find himself up in that wall. But young racers, you know, you got to learn through your mistakes, and he's definitely doing that. And don't look now, Terry, Mr. Tommy DeLago up in 5th place, and he is running a fantastic line right now.
Doing a great job, kind of Kevin Harvick in a little bit, like he does at Atlanta when he gets to the bottom of the racetrack, kind of sinks those tires down there. Matthew Fleming has fell off planet Earth. I don't know if he's saving or what he's doing, but he's fell from the lead all the way back here as Levi McCarty takes a run at that Michelob Ultra Chevy Camaro right here for this 6th place position. And he's going to let Brandon Ward come out here with him. Thank you, Yotes, for your Prime subscription. That is 2 months for you. I'll make sure to go over to your channel and repay the favor. Thank you so much. Brandon Ward's running the high line, Byron. Is that something you saw in practice to be efficient, or is that just something that's going to tear the tires up?
I don't know. Nobody in practice found themselves running that high lane. A lot of us were competitive down at the bottom lane, found ourselves fighting a lot, but this could be an interesting strategy. Like I said, I didn't see anybody go up to the top, but right now it seems like it's working for that 88 of Brandon Ward. Maybe there's a secret that we didn't know about that he's going to take advantage of and possibly find himself running just a little bit later in the runs. Doing
a fantastic job right here on that high lane, and we have a wall counter for him. He hadn't hit it yet. So good for Brandon. I'm actually proud of him. I had a discussion with him earlier in the week, and when it comes to leagues, there typically is a little bit of beef that happens between drivers and broadcasters if they say something the wrong way. And Brandon at some points doesn't feel like we give him the credit that he deserves. And I tell you right now, and he is on newer tires, but I tell you what, as the hype train is incoming, thank y'all. 2nd hype train in a month, that's awesome. But Brandon Ward doesn't get the credit that he deserves, Abram. He has been consistently getting better across the board. Every single week, that kid gets faster. And I couldn't be more prouder than that 88. He might be on fresher tires, but man, he's putting them to use because the 5 behind him don't have fresher tires, and you have to go all the way back to the 81 of Jay Gimbel to find somebody with it.
Yeah, he's doing a great job right now. He's taking care of his car. Yeah, he's definitely doing a great job. In the last couple races of the Truck Series last season, he was definitely making big leaps. So I expect to see him have another competitive night tomorrow night in the Truck Series as well.
Going to be competitive in the Truck Series. I'm going to give the love back that Mr. Abram gave. Got a couple sitting back here. We'll give some people out here some subscriptions to the channel. Mid-Atlantic Motorsports, thank you so much. Charlene Kastritza, I'm sure that is Mr. Kastritza himself. Mrs. Woodard, you get one as well. We'll give some love around to everybody here on the channel. Thank you so much. 2 hype trains in a month. Can't ask for a better crowd than what you guys do. So good little give back to y'all. The battles on the racetrack has cooled down. The heat has not cooled down on the racing surface. Go
ahead.
But does the cars? The track's going to cool down. We're going into the nighttime. We're 40 laps into 125 on this racing surface. Do we see the cars getting racier as the nighttime progresses?
Oh, I believe definitely, especially if we have some more restarts. I definitely see guys really start to push the limits a little bit more. And we've got a couple going into the pits right now. Trevor and Fletcher going into the pits right now, and Mr. Tommy DeLago is going to take over that 2nd place position.
Thomas is going to take it up here. And Byron, strategy move here. With Brandon Ward on 16, well, now he pitted on lap 16. We are on now lap 41. Scheduled pit stops for the guys that did not come down earlier. So scheduled for them. Is Brandon Ward going to pray for a caution to potentially get himself up there, as now he's going to take the lead? Brandon Ward's going to lead his first laps of the season in this Nationwide Chevrolet. Is the caution going to be where he finds his money?
Absolutely not. He wants us to stay green. If he can stay green, we think about this. 40 laps right now. I'm going to crunch some numbers really, really quickly. 125 laps. 3 scheduled pit stops for Brandon. But if the other guys can't save their gas, can't save their tires or whatnot, have to pull it down at 80, well, guess what? Then they have to pull it down at 120. They're finding themselves 5 laps short than what they should be. So with this should be an advantage towards Brandon being able to stretch his tires, stretch his fuel. He could be the guy that we are looking at to be the winner. And like I said, I think he wants to keep this green at this point.
Well, Signature Esports out there in the chat says great racing so far. And ladies and gentlemen, the newest signee to the Top Esports side to do a Thursday night show for us. The Mid-Atlantic Thursday Night Thunder Truck Series is what we do on this show. We do these two shows, we do that, and then starting Saturday, we are going to pick up a modified tour. Something I've never done before, so it's going to be a challenge to me. But my man over there at Signature Esports is going to come over and do those races, and I'm hoping to get somebody in there with him that evens it out, evens it all the way down. And if you don't know who he is, you see him commenting in the chat, go click his channel, give him some love, give him a follow here on Twitch, and tune in because he's got a voice on him. And I promise you will never be disappointed when you go listen to what he has to say. Called a great race with him yesterday at Martinsville after my broadcasting, but just wrecked out because I just flat suck. But these guys who haven't pitted, 6th place, and look who's in 6th, boys. Up 14 positions, the young man in the 006, Robert, baby.
Love to see that. You'd love to see that. He's hoping for a caution for sure, but definitely not Brandon Ward. Feels a little bit. It's not. It needs to get the pit cycles to get everything back on track, but he's definitely having a good run of it right now, Mr. Robert.
Byron, he's only, I think he said he's 62, 63 years young. Doing a great job. And Brad Kirby surprisingly comes down pit road. He pitted on lap number 15 as well. He comes down pit road. Do you see that opening the chain to the rest of these guys coming down too?
Yeah, at this point, if you got it and you can save it, find yourself on down pit roads. You don't want to lose too much time because we all know too much times. We've seen it happen before. 2 laps is a huge difference when it comes to some of these guys. And 2 laps could be the difference between your first place finish or your second place finish, as Brandon's still refusing to come down pit road. He's all the way up on that safety barrier through, too. I'm surprised he hasn't smacked the wall just yet.
Well, he has Fletcher right here in front of him. He just unlapped himself. And by the time that the 88 comes off of pit road, I would assume that he would go potentially a lap down right here. Like I said, not much of a racer myself. I'm more of the broadcaster. As it seems that we're starting to have a little bit of difficulties with iRacing. We are having
Most
some
definitely,
difficulties.
I am receiving that. Yep, I am receiving that on my end, too. You just got to love when that happens, right?
Yeah, I love a little bit of that. But, hey, we're going to power on through it because that's what we always do here on Top Esports. Brandon Ward still holds this lead. Joe Tardif has moved himself into the P2 position, 48-88. Or 88-48 is your leaders, and Robert still, he moves up to P number 3. Very strong showing so far for Robert, but don't look now. The 23 made up a massive amount of time off of pit lane. He's coming up here. He's fighting right now to get into that 3rd place spot.
Yeah, he's definitely fighting. I'm just looking at Brandon Ward's lap times. He's almost a full 2 seconds behind some of the guys running with the fresh tires. So doesn't look like he's going to get a caution. He's probably going to have to pull it down into the pits here pretty soon, or he's going to be in trouble of going a lap down.
Yeah, he's fallen the pace, but here's what I'm curious about with the new tires. Is it a good strategy for Brandon to let them just tear their tires up completely? If they tear their tires up, he comes down pit road, he's going to get his lap back.
And the worst thing I felt at a track like this is that you're almost on ice with new tires. So with these guys slipping and sliding, it could be a potential caution too, which I think Brandon may be looking at the same boat because he needs it. If a caution does come out, that lead puts him in the lead, and that has up to 10th lapped. So that means guys got to take their wave arounds, got to do whatever. I don't see him coming down anytime soon, especially pitting at lap 15. He's going to try to get everything he can, and who knows, maybe by the time we're done, he could be trying to force himself into a situation that sort of gives him a 2-stop versus a 3-stop race.
And
He's definitely made his bet at this point.
Yeah, he's definitely made his bet. Here's Joe Tardif in the Mountain Dew Camo 48. We know Joe can save fuel. We know he knows what he's doing on a race like this, especially with 125 laps. I believe the last time we had this many laps on the board, he went to victory lane, and the track he won at's coming up. So it's an opportunity for him to maybe keep going and doing what he's doing right here. But Joe Tardif moves his way up to the P2 position. He's only 14 seconds off of the race leader at this moment. But pit stops are imminent for these guys, and Trevor and the guys with fresh tires are closing in super fast, almost 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah, this is playing out exactly how Joe likes to race, though. If he's able to push this, if this goes green flag all the way, and he makes one less pit stop than all the rest of the guys, he's looking at another victory here. This is playing out exactly how Joe likes to race. He loves to conserve that fuel. I'm sure he came down for fuel after that first caution after just a couple laps. So he's got his way of racing, and he does it very well.
Oh, Woody Woodard just got very high right in front of Brad Kirby back there. I'm going to have to go back and take a look at that one. He got super, super high on the racing surface, and now he's ducking low. He's got an issue. He's been slow for the past couple laps, as if he's just under power or he's done. I don't know what he's doing. Yellow flag comes out, and there is the break for the driver of the 88.
I don't know, but I think could that have been a caution done by Woody?
Yeah.
Looks like Fireball Woody here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Looks like he was going into the pits and spun it out.
Brandon Ward just got the luckiest break he could get. Himself and Mr. Joe Tardif are your two recipients of this caution flag. But while we do take this caution flag, we're going to take you down here to a little side-by-side action.
Fairfield Motorsports in Montoursville is your weekend adventure headquarters. Get out and do more. If it's fast and fun and brings smiles to faces year-round, we have it. Our huge showroom is stocked full of new and pre-owned Yamahas, Kawasaki's, Suzuki's, Kymco's, and Argos. Plus, Fairfield Motorsports is the area's only Traxxas retailer, the fastest name in RC. And we have all the parts and accessories to go with them. For all the coolest toys for big girls and boys, visit Fairfield Motorsports in Montoursville. Your weekend adventure.
And what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. And just to let you know that this series is brought to you by Graham Construction, the Grand Construction Company, serving Middle and West Tennessee for all your general contracting needs for all residential, custom homes, and light commercial. Call 901-301-8268. Ask for Carrie Moore. That's 901-301-8268. Everybody pitted but one. What do we say about that?
That's going to be feeling pretty bad. Who do we have out at the front here?
Trevor Z would be your race leader.
Yeah, that's always a bad feeling when you're that only guy on the old tires. Hopefully can keep it from spinning on the restart, though.
Trevor, how'd you say it, Byron?
Zalesny.
He is your race leader in the 23 Aerospace, M2 Aerospace. Sorry, make sure people out there in the chat don't yell at me for the wrong pronunciation of his sponsor. But that Camaro, last pitting on lap 41, 7 Crawford stayed out, Carrie Moore stayed out, and fourth on back, down pit lane.
Yeah, that's going to be feeling pretty bad for those top couple guys. I mean, those fresh tires they're king here. I mean, it's going to look like these guys are going in slow motion once we get a couple laps. Those fresh tires are going to catch them quick.
I don't know if you're seeing this, Terry, but it is looking like he has come down pit road. It says he pit last at lap 41.
Yeah, but that's That's 14 laps from the last time that everybody else came down under this yellow flag. So he stays on the racetrack under this one. There's a lot of people trying to take this wave around. Brad Kirby, Sean Kostritza, Brandon Burt. That would also be Cole Thomas in the 43, the man we talked about earlier in the race. Jay Gimble there, Rule Thane, Robert Doig. They're all trying to get the wave around right here to put themselves back on the lead lap. Untimely caution for those, but not an untimely caution for the guy right here who is up seven positions from the drop of the green flag, and Joe Tardif is up P10 to get himself into this 5th place position. Positive gains are always great gains when the leader of the race is up 13, plus 7, plus 3, plus 1, plus 10 for all of your top 5. Are we seeing a trend that tires don't mean crap on a short run?
Tires don't mean much on a short run, but when it gets to that long run and these couple guys up the front that have got 14 to 15 laps on their tires already, they're going to be regretting their decision for sure. But there is a world where this pays off for them. I guess we'll have to see. It feels bad for those 4 drivers that got caught a lap down. They couldn't come in to top off of fuel, get windshield tear off or anything. I had to wait for that wave around, but it's going to be an interesting start here. We got a lot of new names up at the front here. Some of the guys that were in the back to start the race, so we'll see how this works out, Terry.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see, and we're going to take a look at the cam once again that Brad Kirby gives us every single time. We'll do a little crank it up right here, so we'll be quiet, and we'll take you all the way around this racetrack for about 2 or 3 laps and just show you how fast these cars get.
Green flag, green flag.
Battle for the lead starts to heat up. Seven Crawford in the 77 bounced off the wall just a little earlier in this race, but he's rebounded nicely. He's putting the pressure forward. Mustang could do something they haven't done the entire race so far to lead a lap at the Texas Motor Speedway. He's going to get under the 23, but he can't make it stick coming off the backstart, coming off to the front straightaway.
He's just got to keep it close. If he can keep it close, he can kind of upset that 23 of Trevor here. Looks like that's what he's trying to do, kind of send him up the track a little bit so he can take that spot.
Ford Chevy is your top 3 right now as they are starting to battle out. Duke out. Here comes the 48 of Joe Tardif now wanting to get himself in this situation. 7-23. They're finding themselves starting to fall off just a little bit, battling side by side, but that doesn't mean they ain't going to give up. That Ford Mustang wants to lead a lap. Next guy that can help him, next guy a part of his manufacturer is that 61 of Anthony Zirkle, which is back in 9th place. But 7 now, going to dive it inside, trying everything he can, trying to outrun that 23, but he should have an excellent run coming down the backstretch.
Trying to make it 3 wide. Here comes Joe Tardif to the inside. He's got fresh tires. He's got a boatload of confidence, and there's contact made. 23-77 contact, and they saved it in turns 3 and 4. They were sliding like Matt Crafton and Johnny Sauter at Kansas Motor Speedway in the Truck Series, but 7 Crawford goes to P2. Trevor, he's going to slip back into the clutches of Thomas Delago with the 24 Fletcher as they go into 1.
It took a couple more laps than I thought, but those fresh tires, once they got there, they just couldn't hold them off. Joe Tardif with a great run. Trevor and Seven getting into each other caused just a huge run for Joe to get by him there.
Huge run for Joe Tardif. He takes the lead. We'll get back to the lead here in a second. Let's take a look at the drone cam going backwards. There's 2 by 2. Here comes Levi McCarty up to the front, and then also putting himself in position. That would be the 61 of Anthony Zirkle, moving himself up 11 places to that 8th place spot right now. Everybody freight training the 23. He's stuck on the outside of old tires. Is this a product of just close-knit racing, fresh versus old tires, Byron, or was that just plain aggressive?
I mean, it was a little bit of aggressiveness, a little bit of the guys having the fresh tires, sort of thought they had an advantage. Of course, they did, as you are seeing a side-by-side battle between the 84 Kerry Moore and 23 Trevor Zalesny, which was one of the drivers involved in that incident, but able to keep it straight. Does have some rear-end damage alongside that front-end damage. But, yeah, I mean, guys, I'm looking here. The guys that pitted last 44, 42, 48, they're finding themselves sitting 9th, 8th place right now. The only guy that's able to be top dog, and he's falling off fast, is that 77 of 7 Crawford. He's the last one remaining on those old tires. He's getting ready to drop back out of the top 10.
7 Crawford, he's going into the clutches of Anthony Zirkle. Just got passed by Levi. We talked about the defending Truck Series champion. He has not had his footing yet in the Xfinity Series, and I know that's hard to say. It was kind of hard to get it out of my mouth earlier when I said it. He hasn't found his footing in the Xfinity Series yet. We've yet to see him go to victory lane in this number 18 Supra, but I think he's finding his rhythm up here. But I tell you who's really found his rhythm, Joe Tardif. Joe Tardif has finally found the speed. I think he's trying to take that win that he had on fuel mileage. A lot of people gave him some flack that they say you can only race fuel mileage, Joe. But tonight he's showing I have speed, and the nighttime in the Texas Motor Speedway is the right time for this Mountain Dew 48 Camaro.
Yeah, he's definitely showing a lot of speed, Terry. He's doing a great job. Mountain Dew vehicle looks really good up the front. And, you know, it definitely is true. You know, some guys don't think that, you know, fuel strategy is really something to be, you know, impressed about. But, you know, it really is. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to win a race. You know, it's not always the fastest car on the track that wins. There is strategy that comes into play. And for 7 Crawford and, you know, Trevor and the couple guys that stayed out, their night's not over yet. I mean, they could still have an extra set of tires that some of these other guys don't have. So if there is a late caution, they might be the only couple people that have, you know, that extra set of tires. So I guess we'll see. I wouldn't count them out yet tonight, though.
Looking from the rear roof of Joe Tardif, he has, and I don't say this as a rude way, he hasn't had the speed. Best lap so far is a 31.19. Fastest lap so far, his last lap was a 31.47. He's playing defense right now to keep Fletcher behind him. He's matching the lap times. Fastest car on the racetrack that time by would have been Levi McCarty with a 31.17. But he's having consistent speed on the longer run, but that short run speed isn't there, Byron. Is that a good thing that he don't have the short run speed, but that long run speed is really showing out right now as he continues to lead the train?
Most definitely. I think if you have that long run speed, like you said, you're going to find yourself being able to create that distance, that gap on the guys, especially if you are sitting in one. But don't get in over your head. You still have the lead. Still got to save your tires. Don't find yourself falling off and finding yourself falling back very fast because you still need to do it. As you see, 86 Thomas Delago trying to find his way around the 24 of Fletcher Quigley, as now they are going into one, and it looks like Thomas is going to be able to steal that. 48 Joe Tardif, got to think about that now. If guys are going to try to battle him, he's got to back off, because if he does, if he doesn't, his tires are going to get burnt up, and that long run that we were talking about is going to be useless to him.
Well, Tommy made that pass look fairly easy on Fletcher, our defending race winner at Watkins Glen, and now Tommy goes for the race lead. He has a good sniff of it. Joe's got a little bit of damage on that right quarter panel, but we haven't seen the aero really affect him so far. He's about a 10th slower than what Tommy's running right now, but he's averaging correctly across the board. As now we put the top 6 under a blanket. Tommy's going to go down to the bottom, battle for the lead down the back straightaway, Abram.
Yep, battle for the lead here. if anybody can make it stick at the bottom, it's definitely Tommy DeLago. And Fletcher driving it in real deep there, able to make it stick. That was very impressive run he got there. We're seeing it time and time again here tonight, Terry. When those cars get out to the outside, if you don't roll it in properly and you can't run that low line, I mean, guys are just going to take advantage of it. They're going to slide down underneath you and take that spot from you.
And he did. He got in there. He made it stick. He made it work. And now he puts himself up to the P1 position. Joe Tardif starting to fall off just a tad bit. Sheldon Fettick is going to be the next person right there trying to get under the rear of his car to maybe go up to that third place position. We're seeing now. Here comes Levi. I hope he wasn't listening, and he thought that I was saying it rudely, that he just hasn't found it. And Byron, I'm sure you could agree with me there. We haven't seen him consistently run up front and contend to win races so far in these cars.
For sure. I mean, last week he struggled just a bit finding himself around that road course. Obviously picked it up a little bit later in the run. I believe he was top 10 at the end of the night when it was all said and done. But, yeah, he just hasn't found anything yet. For being a defending Truck Series champion, obviously Truck's got to be his comfort. Still getting used to these boats, as Abram would say. And he's starting to turn the ship, and he's starting to get it under control as he has now picked up position number 4, looking for position number 3.
He has the run down the back straightaway on the back bumper of the 41, starting to get a little bit of the draft. He's been consistently one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Kind of fell off just a tad bit right there because he's not in the wake of the draft. Sheldon Fettick had the fastest lap that time around with a 31.8. He's putting himself in the position at the right time to succeed to the front. Now, Brandon Ward and the 48 of Joe Tardif kind of fell off just a tad bit since that green flag, but it's still a net gain of 8. It is a net gain of 8 positions for Joe Tardif. And Anthony Zirkle, one of the biggest movers, and I'm sure his mom is out there watching, he is in the 6th place position, and he's chasing John Capps down right now for 5th.
Yeah, Big Zirk is having a great run right now. I guess this is one of the tracks that he really likes. He's running it super well right now. Definitely put a little pressure on John Capps here for that 5th place position.
And Byron, we've seen Zirk do some fun things. We caught him in a good moment when we had him at Talladega when he was our in race reporter, and we caught some laughs with him at the fact that it's the pure shock that the race was over at that given time, live on cameras. He gets in the wall hard right there. Commentator Jenks hits it right there. He gets into the wall. Mama Zirk, I'm really sorry, but hopefully it didn't create any damage as he's running that middle lane.
Most definitely going to correct you on there. It was actually Daytona. But yeah. Well, Stephanie, it's tough to sort of realize where you've been after all this awesome action has happened over the course of 4 or 5 weeks now. And Anthony, he's been one of those guys that's been competitive. He's been silent, but most definitely deadly. As later in the runs, he's found himself up towards that top 5, top 3, even contending for the lead. But yeah, we're also joking about, I'm going to bring it back up. Sorry, Anthony, if you are watching this, hope you don't overshoot any pit stalls tonight.
Yeah, him and Levi have a hard time of overshooting pit stalls when we put the camera on them. Guy that overshot a pit box today was Brad Kirby, and he's actually having a really off night in this number 10 Kellogg's Chevrolet. He's back in 19th. I think James Woodard. There we go. I said it right. He backed off. He's running back. I think he's going to run race control tonight, but there was a little battle going on between them earlier in this race as Brandon Burke hits the wall of running throwback schemes where, hey, it's Texas. You run it. He's running the Texas Terry Labonte scheme out here, and man, how cool would it be to see that Kellogg's number 10 go to victory lane here tonight with such great history for the Labontes here?
That would be awesome. Unfortunately, he's going to need a few things to go his way, but we've seen crazier things on the racetrack, so he's not out of it yet, but he's definitely going to need some help.
Coming down pit road, and because you're out there in the chat, my friend, I will give you a TFR update because, man, you're one of my favorite people out there. Matthew Fleming finds himself in the 8th place position. He is 7 spots from where he started in the P1 spot. Right behind him is going to be Cole Thomas. He holds that 9th place spot as Matthew Fleming gets around Joe Tardif, move him up 1. And Trevor Zeleny is on pit road in the 18th position, about to fall 1 lap down to the leader. And the leader is Thomas Delago. It is the Beef Jerky Unlimited 1-2 on here. And Byron, I think you can say something about their sponsor, couldn't you?
Most definitely. Give me 1 second to pull it on up here, but Beef Jerky, I mean, yeah, sorry, was not prepared for this.
I put him on the spot.
Yes, I hate getting put on the spot, but their jerky is made from the fresh, top-quality meat and is marinated in one of their 38 savory original recipe flavors. All of their beef, chicken, and pork can also be purchased for wholesale in 1-pound bulk. Head on over to beefjerkyunlimited.com and use promo code WOLFPACK. That's in all caps, WULFFPACK, for 15% off your purchase over at beefjerkyunlimited.com.
Yeah, I love putting you on the spot because it just makes you think off the quick of your feet. Papa Bear liked it. He gave the big thumbs up out there. Papa Bear, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Top Esports, and welcome to the Graham Construction Xfinity Series. I'm Terry Rafford, joined alongside Byron Jones and Abram Moon. We see the top 2 right now, Thomas Delago and Sheldon Fedek. Their 8641 holds it. 3 Chevrolets locked out. And then you have 2 Toyotas. A little bit different dynamic. We haven't seen the Toyotas take the lead yet. But Levi McCarty doing a great job up here in the 4th place position. John Capps, brother of Ron Capps, who I for sure thought was going to race here tonight, but he is busy. He's in the playoffs for the NHRA drag racing series, and he's doing a fantastic job. Ron, if you're watching, if you're listening, you go back and watch it. We wish you the best of luck. Hope you pull that beautiful trophy back here and show it off to us, and I would love to hear your success as the 2 teammates start to battle. Pit stops are on the horizon. They last pitted on lap 55, and Abram, lap 87 goes on the board. When do we see them come down pit road? And is it time to maybe play some strategy if you're a little further back in the pack?
You know, you're in the fuel window now, so some of the guys in the back, they're going to have to try to short pit here or something to get up there, because when you see Tommy Delago up at the front on a long green flag run, you're just hoping somebody can get up to there to battle him, to get him out of his rhythm, because he is the best long-run driver we have in our league. He does a phenomenal job saving the tires. He can run that preferred line. He may not run it as fast as some of the other guys, but he saves those tires so well on these long runs. So I know all the other drivers are thinking, we need a caution. We need something to happen here, or else Tommy's just going to drive away with this thing.
Well, Sheldon Fedek isn't letting him go, Byron. He's right there, right up his trumpet, as the great Repeat 1975 says. The 41's making a run at it. 0.2 of a second is going to separate 1 and 2, make it 0.3 when they exit turns 3 and 4. Fletcher's fell off just a little bit, but I know Fletcher's looking forward to Daytona Road coming up, that next road course on the schedule. He'll be there, but the battle for the lead, do you see Sheldon potentially going down pit road before Thomas?
I don't know. With those guys both being a part of the same team, I think they sort of make a call together, come down. 2 cars, I always say, is better than 1. If these guys can group up, take off, we could be looking at a potential battle for the lead once pit stops cycle through. If it does say green, knocking on some wood here. But, yeah, these guys, they got to play it smart, got to work together if they want to find themselves 1 and 2 fighting each other for the lead versus possibly throwing Fletcher or Levi or maybe even John into that equation. And then that pot's just slowly stirring at that point. It's whoever comes out on top is going to be the top dogs. But I expect to see these guys wait maybe 5-10 laps so they have fresh tires on their final run.
Battle I just missed. Matthew Fleming jumps up to the 6th place position. Just got around Anthony Zirkle right there for that spot. Move him back to 7th. Move him back up. Levi Fletcher comes down pit lane. Now move him up to the 4th place position. Matthew Fleming is now running there. Robert has only pitted on lap 41. He has pitted 1 time in this machine as, yep, there we go. We're back. Man, the glitchiness on the iRacing tonight, it's getting a little annoying, but we'll power through still. We'll continue to be the top of the top around here. But Is this a good strategy as now we put 3 beef jerky unlimited guys with these amazing paint schemes in the top 5? Is that scary for the competition that they're all this equally strong, Abram?
That is scary for the competition. I know Tommy's got like these special settings he runs, and it's really weird. It's not like something you can just get in and just run and be good. Like, it takes a lot of practice to run the settings that these guys are running in their wheels, and they're doing a phenomenal job with it. Obviously, Tommy's got them trained very well because they're all having really good runs tonight as we see them go down pit lane.
They come down pit lane, looking at this awesome cam right here of the guys coming down pit lane. There goes John Capps, Sheldon Fedek, Thomas Delago, Robert Doig. They all come down. Teammates do it together. So that puts Matthew Fleming in the TFR. Chevrolet goes to the front. That beer nuts. That beer nuts. Camaro takes the race lead in the number 8. And now everybody else has pitted but him. Lone driver on the racetrack. We saw it work for Brandon Ward, Byron. It worked for him. It worked for Joe Tardif. Can Matthew Fleming potentially get lucky with 29 laps remaining on this racetrack?
I mean, it possibly could come into equation. It could be the disadvantage of fresh tires. Guys are going to spin as you speak of the devil. Mr. Brandon Ward is finding himself getting ready to get lapped by that 8 of Matthew Fleming once again. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. As he makes a questionable move on down pit road, must have missed his pit stall. But, yeah, 8 of Matthew Fleming, he's just got to drive his race. And, unfortunately, he's got to come down at some point. And I think that's going to be within the next 5 laps is where he's got to sort of call off his I quit point, because if he doesn't, he's going to find himself falling back further than what he should, as he is 2 seconds off the pace right now of your second on back, the guys that are lapped. And it looks like 24 Fletcher Quigley is actually going to pick up a position, and he's going to find himself second. So when this all is all set and done, Fletcher is going to be your new leader.
That would be your new leader. And Abram Moon, 5 gifted subscription to the channel. Christy gets a subscription. Fletcher gets a sub. Peak 5G gets a sub out there. TNBSNAZ, you're going to get one as well. I believe that is your brother, if I'm not mistaken, on that gamer tag. And who else gets one? Clamberth, you're going to get one as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Abram. You are a scholar and a gentleman. As the 702 had an issue, he went off the racetrack, and that was crazy. But your new race leader here is Fletcher. He has a 3-second lead, 2 laps older tires than Thomas and Sheldon. Does that smell trouble for the field? That the defending race winner is coming to 25 laps to go with a 3-second lead, and he is growing it.
I'm telling you what, I mean, that short pit that him and Levi pulled, that's looking like it's the ticker right now. Like we said, though, if this goes green, Tommy Delago and Sheldon have been showing some phenomenal long run speed, and Fletcher's been kind of tailing off later on in a run. So we could see this gap slowly shrink through these last 25 to 28 laps. I think it's going to be a phenomenal finish here.
Fastest lap of the race so far. You go down here to Matthew Fleming. That 8 machine put a 30.61 on the racetrack, and the fastest lap in this run so far has been this man right here. He's battling for the 3rd place position. He sees it. He sees 2 and 3. He's been consistently laying down the fastest laps he could possibly put. 30.7 was his last lap. 31.2, 31.1 for the guys he's battling on the racetrack, and a 30.9 for the race leader. As I think I might have motivated him. He might have heard me say that he hasn't found his footing, and he said, watch me. And here he comes, a driver of the number 18 Supra of Levi McCarty, finding his way to battling for P number 2. And this could smell trouble on the field if he finds his footing. And maybe it is. The cool Texas lights come over this racetrack, and the stars at night are big and bright whenever they go over big old stinking Texas.
Love that. Love that. I'll tell you what, Terry. Levi and Fletcher consistently running faster laps than Thomas and Sheldon right now. The only worry that I have as a Fairfield Motorsports teammate of theirs, we've seen this. We know Fletcher and Levi have that great short run speed. But when it comes to the long run, if you're tearing up those tires on your short run, you're going to be paying the price later on the run. And Tommy and Sheldon, they're just consistently running the same lap times. So this is going to be a great finish, Terry.
I think it's going to be an amazing finish. You see Fletcher right here in third. You see Sheldon slowly creeping back up to that P3 position. And Thomas Stalago is doing what he does just about every single race. That time by 31.1 was your leader's lap time, 31.2, 31.2, 32.1. They're all equal across the playing field so far, and hopefully I didn't make people tune away when I made that about Texas, but I tell you, I only say that because the Texans and the Dallas Cowgirls, they play in this state, and they don't run the NFC East, and they dang sure don't run the AFC South. That would be my Tennessee Titans, who's going to put a whipping on them like they did Indy. Hopefully Randy Henshaw's out there. Tune in for the truck race, everybody, if you can, on Signature Esports Monday night at Talladega. I'm going to be pushing that Tennessee Titan Chevrolet of Mr. Randy Henshaw to the lead because these Titans kicked his Indianapolis Colts' butt on Sunday. And Byron, I know your Cardinals beat the crap out of us, but whatever. Battle for we're going to skip that, go battle for third. Here comes Sheldon on Levi, Byron.
No, you can't just ditch it that fast just because we are 3-0 for the first time since 2015. So Mr. Sheldon Fettig does dive it inside. 18 of Levi McCartney now going to fall off very fast. Sheldon saying all my exes are living in Texas.
That's it.
As now Levi is currently falling back even further now, down to 2/10 and continuously falling. Now we're starting to see those tires come into effect. Could we see someone like the 86 of Thomas Delago and the 41 of Sheldon Fettig be able to outrun that 24 of Fletcher Quigley? Because I tell you what, 2/10 faster is what Thomas Delago is right now. And man, he is putting a whooping on them just like the Arizona Cardinals put a whooping on the Tennessee Titans.
Ouch, you hurt my heart. We'll skip over that. Congrats to the 3-0 Cardinals. 3-second gap for Fletcher Quigley on Thomas Delago right here. And he's doing what you talked about, Abram. Oh, it is slowing big time. What happened to the leader?
Looked like he just tagged the wall there, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, goodness. 2.4 is the gap now. And yeah, it looks like he did tag it just a tad bit right here. And Tommy is coming.
Oh, he's coming fast, and Fletcher's going to have to recompose himself here after hitting the wall. I know that's frustrating when you got a lead and you're trying to milk it here and you give up a half a second like that, but he's got to do everything he can now. He's got to push it to the absolute limit now because Tommy Delago is coming fast.
And while we do have this little gap in the air, we're going to take you on a quick side-by-side. Please don't go anywhere. You're not going to miss a lap. We're going to go over here and see what our boys at IVRL are doing.
NASCAR, let's go. IVRL, international virtue. IVRL, anytime that you hear your engine screaming. IVRL, yeah, you know we ain't streaming. Loud mother rubber, mother harder than a demon. Climbing up the pit, if you catch my double meaning. Cloud 9, you ain't on the move fast. One time, pit stop, get gas. You slow, best move, get past. Sit back, relax, do laughs. NASCAR.
I promised you wouldn't miss a lap, and you didn't miss nothing. 1.2 seconds is or 1.82 was the original gap around here as Thomas Delago is coming like a pissed-off teenager on the highway for the first time. Here he comes. You talked about it, Abram. You talked about it, Byron. They're fast on the long run. Those Beef Jerky Unlimited guys are heading for some Fairfield RC cars.
They are headed for some Fairfield RC cars. This is going to come down to the wire. We got 16 laps left, about a 2-second gap. And I'm telling you what, I mean, Fletcher's going to have to dig super deep here. He is going to have to somehow make these tires work because they are roasted compared to what Tommy's are looking like right now. Tommy ran 2/10 of a second quicker on that last lap. Oh, this is going to get good.
And like I said before, I mean, tires, they're a huge issue. And 3 and 4 almost feels like a magnet. 1 and 2, it's starting to feel more like a magnet as you get later in the run, as you see Fletcher's getting passed by some lap cars. Speaking of it, actually, 10 Brad Kirby in the beautiful Kellogg's race car. But yeah, tires are huge at a track like this. And coming to 15 to go this time by, I don't think he has the speed. Doesn't have anything as you look. I mean, window shot of this 86, you can see him. You can see this 24 in plain sight. There you go. As we head to the roof cam, he's got him. There's no doubt. The question is, if a caution falls, what do you do at that point? These guys got up to 11th lap, and I don't know about you, Terry, but I'm kind of scared at this point. If a caution does get called, I want to keep this green if I am the 86.
Insert said Jaws music now. 0.8 of a second is separating these two. Guys, we've seen the closest finishes in this Xfinity series. We saw a damn tie to start the season between John Capps and Matthew Fleming. Tommy's coming. It's 0.7 of a second, and it's 0.9 of a second to Sheldon. When those two get the batting, Sheldon's going to be right there. Do you go with your teammate, or do you go, hey, I want to win too? I want to win my second race of the season. Tommy, you can win any other night. I'm going to take it tonight in the Lone Star State as it is closing. 0.5 a second separates the two sponsors of the league, which this is a great deal.
This is a great deal. And I'm telling you what, it sounds weird, but if I'm Fletcher right now, I am begging for a caution, because if he has 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles waiting for him in the pits, he knows he's the fastest car on the track. Him and Levi are the fastest cars on the track on the short runs. Unfortunately, their long runs, they just do not have that tire conservation that Tommy and Sheldon have tonight.
Let's show you what the gap looks like. Sheldon's there. Sheldon's on the back bumper of the 86. 86 is slowly creeping in on the back bumper of the 24. Fletcher Quigley. Can we see a good old-fashioned Fairfield versus beef jerky? Who's going to sell you a car? Who's going to sell you a bag of beef jerky? I tell you what, I got the best compliment on the beef jerky from Harley's brother. Said that it was the best thing he's ever eaten. Best birthday present. As that lap, Fletcher gaps it just a little bit. He was 1/10 faster around this racetrack. 0.5 a second's where it sits, but Tommy's killing him in the corners, Byron.
Yeah, Tommy able to get the run that he can, leaving him a little bit of room between that wall. As you can see, 24 Fletcher getting really, really close to that. I'm expecting him to hit it at some point. As you see, he rides that high. That should allow some sort of advantage for the 86 of Thomas Delago. Gap closing fast as we are reaching 10 to go. 24 Fletcher Quigley's got to find something. He's got to find something fast, or else this 86 and this 41 are going to blow right past him.
10 to go, brought to you by Graham Construction. Don't forget, call Graham Construction for all your residential needs and commercial. Battle for the lead. It's heated up, side by side. 24, 86 down the back straightaway, going into turns 3 and 4. 24 to the high side, 86 to the bottom. Battle of sponsors. Beef Jerky, Fairfield coming off of 4. It's going to be a drag race to the line. 86 takes the lead as they're catching lap traffic, Abram.
That was a great battle for the lead there. You could see Fletcher almost sideways there. He did not want to let Tommy get by. Knew that was kind of his last-ditch effort there. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to drop down to 3rd here. Unless the caution comes out, it looks like we might have the 2 beef jerky teammates up at the front tonight.
For Pete, number 2, Sheldon gets to the bottom. Oh, he almost washed up into the 24, but that's letting Tommy get away. The more they battle for P2, Byron, the longer it's going to be for Sheldon to get him. As there it goes. Here's the 43. That's Cole Thomas. He's fighting to stay on the lead lap right here in the 10th place position. They're putting on a blistering pace. They're up to 10th place lapped.
That was great for Sheldon and Fletcher. They wanted to see Cole battle just a little bit more there. Obviously, you never want to battle a leader if you're a lap car, but if you're trying to stay on the lead lap, you'd like to see him battle a little bit harder, kind of draw Tommy back to them a little bit. Fortunately, that was not the case.
Yeah, and that's something you sort of see in, obviously, you pointed it out. But the question is, does this 43 of Cole now try to battle this 41? And does that make sort of a difference in what he did to Thomas? I would say he did about the same he did to Thomas. But is that 41 within that bubble, as some would say, to be able to catch the draft of that 86? Or is he just outside it to where maybe he's content with the second place? Maybe he's content with Thomas riding off into the sunset. But I don't see that with this 86. I believe he already has a spot locked into the playoffs with a win earlier this season. I could be wrong. If not, he's searching for it right now as we are inching closer and closer to those 5 laps to go, Terry.
Yeah,
Well,
we're coming down to
Byron,
5 laps to
earlier on
go.
in the race, early on in the race, we saw Sheldon get to the back of Tommy late on a green flag run. So I don't think this is over yet. Obviously they're communicating right now. Curious to see if they fight it out. I know Fletcher's hoping they get side by side and maybe he can pull up to him. Got a couple laps to figure it out here.
Going to have 5 laps remaining here at the Texas Motor Speedway. I'm Terry Radford, joined alongside Byron Jones, Abram Moon for the call of the Graham Construction Xfinity Series live from this Texas Motor Speedway. Brandon Ward's going to be courteous. He's going to move down to the bottom of the racetrack. Let the 2 leaders battle this out. 0.4 of a second is what separates teammates. Thomas Delago, Sheldon Fettick battling for the win. Sheldon has a win. I don't believe Tommy has one. I don't see him on the winner sheet that we have here. So this would be Thomas's first race to get a victory this season in this series. He's won in the trucks. Sheldon's going for 2. Tommy's going for 1. And right now, 0.4 of a second as they come to 3 laps remaining. Byron, the race for these two, they've left Fletcher 2.3 seconds back, is getting hot.
Yeah, it comes down to these two, unless if a caution does get called, which we don't want to see. Guys have played nice all race, and I don't think it's going to be any different coming down to 3 to go. I mean, once you cross that line, anything can happen at that point. Anything that brings it out, I don't know. I think that 41's going to back up, though. Not allow that 86 to sort of have pressure, but he's going to be there. He wants the points, but I think he also wants to drag his teammate into the playoffs with him. So it's a 2-car team up versus a 1-car and having to help the other one.
Well, it's top 2, Beef Jerky Unlimited. 3, 4 would be your Fairfield Motorsports team. And then you got your TFR, your lone TFR guy back here in the 5th place position. That would be Matthew Fleming for all of this going on. 86 looking for his first win as James comes in the chat. Yeah, if 86 hasn't won this season, and Abram, this could be huge. They're coming down the back straightaway for the second to last time.
Yeah, this could be huge. It always feels good to lock yourself into playoffs, especially earlier on in a season. And we've got a top 4. We got 2 guys that are phenomenal on the long run. They do a great job saving their tires. And then P3 and P4, we got 2 of the fastest guys in the league. So it's just, how does the race pan out? Is there a lot of cautions? Is there a lot of green flag running? There's always a chance if you run a certain thing well, if it goes right for you for a night, you could find yourself in victory lane. If we would have saw more cautions, I would expect to see Fletcher and Levi maybe running in P1 and P2 with that short run speed they have. But because we're on this green flag run, Sheldon and Tommy are flexing their muscles here on this long run.
Well, coming across the start-finish line, 86 takes the win. Thomas Delago, your winner here at the Texas Motor Speedway for the Graham Construction. 125 here on this beautiful night. Sheldon Fettick, P number 2. Fletcher Quigley is going to be your 3rd place finisher. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Please stay with us. We're going to have our winner and our top 3 in victory lane. Let's go check out the Wolf Pump guys. And we're back for post-race interviews. I got the winner right here, Thomas Delago. Man, you're burning them down on the front stretch of the Texas Motor Speedway. How the hell did you get it done with such an amazing run on the long run speed?
I tell you, it's a lot of teamwork. Beef Jerky Unlimited. I didn't have much time to come in here and practice, and luckily my teammates Robert Doig and Sheldon gave me some hints on what line to take, and just save the tires. And we kind of had a plan. I stayed a little farther back than Sheldon, but it seemed to work out towards the end there. But teamwork's what really made it pay off for sure. Beef Jerky Unlimited. Pretty good team. I like all my guys, and they're so helpful. It's awesome.
First top 2 finish for you in the Beef Jerky Unlimited, guys. You and Sheldon did an amazing job. Sheldon had the win earlier in the season. You lock yourself into the playoffs. Any special shout-outs for you here tonight?
If Steven quits talking here. Hold on one second. All right, yeah, I like to put a shout out to, like I said, Sheldon, John Caps, Robert Doig. Also like to put a shout out to Graham Construction for sponsoring this whole series for us. Shout out to Beef Jerky Unlimited. Shout out to the announcer there, Terry Radford. Glad you're back. Can't wait to watch it after I get back upstairs, man. You do a hell of a job, and obviously thank you to Brad Kirby and James Woodard. Without those guys, we don't have this league. So glad they let me come in here and have some fun.
We're happy to have you here, Tommy. Always good to talk to you at the end. I told you about the beef jerky being amazing, but Byron, you got the guy that finished P2 here tonight. Got a good shot of this one there. He said he didn't have it last week, but go take that 41 for us.
Yeah, Sheldon Fettig, man, found yourself just a tad bit short on that 86 of Thomas DeLago. We saw you were already locked into the playoffs. Were you sort of backing it up, trying to get your teammate in the playoffs, or was it just hard racing and just kept finding speed late in that run?
Yeah, there was nothing I could do there. That was all Tommy. We had a good plan there to stick together and push ourselves through traffic and be patient with the tires. You know, the Texas here really wears them out. So we knew if we let the guys go, stay together, push each other towards the front, it ended up working out real well for us. So that was all Tommy. There was no team orders there at all. Tommy would never let us do that. So it was a good race. Had a lot of fun. Led some laps there in the beginning, and yeah, it was great.
Well, there you go. Now heading in, you got two guys into the playoffs. You're looking to push Robert Doy into that position. Also find yourself a three-way car looking into the playoffs. Is that sort of your plan here walking in these next few weeks?
Yeah, hopefully, we can get ourselves lined up in one of these races and, we can go at it. There's no team orders here. If we're going to win, we're going to win. I think Robert's going to make it in the playoffs no matter what. But it'd be nice if we had an opportunity to go 1, 2, 3 here in one of these races. That would be great.
Well, there you go, man. Once again, congrats on your P2. Got any shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean, you guys do a great job on the broadcast. Obviously, thanks for, everybody who puts this league on, and Brad and James, and, Tommy let me run in his team here, and, Robert for putting our paint schemes together. They look great on the racetrack. Everybody's got the same paint scheme on the team and just a little bit different color scheme. So it's great for them guys. I appreciate it.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 41 of Sheldon Fettig, finding himself second place tonight.
And P3, you get to talk to your teammate, man. He's a little bit dejected right there. Got a third place spot after coming off of a dominating performance at Watkins Glen. Abram Moon, go talk to your Fairfield teammate.
Fletcher. Great run tonight. You had phenomenal short run speed. I love the decision to come pit a couple laps before the leaders. Did you think you had enough in the tank to hold off Tommy and Sheldon there the last 25 laps?
For a second, yeah. Levi and I both were kind of doing math in our head and trying to figure out where we needed to be. And I wasn't sure when they were going to pit. I figured once they saw us go in, they'd probably be coming in. And they did, and of course had, I think, about 3 seconds or so in front of them. And I mean, I knew I was a little bit quicker in the short run, but obviously in the long run, I think they were saving a little bit and just had a lot more at the end, and I started bleeding off, and not much I could do. Some really, really unfortunate stuff with lap traffic. I mean, guys just not moving out of the way just kind of sucks. They're trying to race the guys on the lead lap, and this really doesn't make for great racing towards the end.
Well,
but
I was at 5 on that run on the right front. Where were you, Sheldon?
That's always unfortunate to have lap traffic get in the way.
Oh,
but,
wow.
it's racing, I
I
guess.
finally got
Do
it
you
really
have
on the
any
right.
shout-outs?
Shout out to the whole crew at Fairfield Auto Group and Fairfield Motorsports. If it weren't for Levi, I probably wouldn't have done as well. I walked in here today just hoping for a top 5 after a good race last week. So, overall happy with the result, but was pleasantly surprised, and I had to lead there, and just sucks that let it go. But we'll try and regroup and come back again next week.
Well, you're already locked into playoffs, and it never feels bad to get a podium, be there in the top 3. Great run tonight.
Appreciate it, Abram. Would like you to come back in the car, though.
We'll see. We'll see.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, as we walk you through our finishers here tonight. We'll take a look at what's been going on down here. If I can get this to pull up. Have an issue on that. We'll walk you through the top 10. Thomas Lago takes the victory. Sheldon Fedek in P2. Fletcher Quigley going to pull P3 tonight. Levi McCarty with a strong run up to 4th. Matthew Fleming in the TFR Beer Nut Chevrolet pulls the top 5. Anthony Zirkle goes up to the 6th place spot. Jade Gimble is your 7th place runner. 7 Crawford. Early contact with the wall moves him up to P8. Robert Doig in the Beef Jerky Unlimited team is in 9th. And Cole Thomas, TFR 43 machine, goes up to the top 10. Rest of your running order will be across the screen. And guys, what a hell of a show here at Texas. Byron, I'll start with you. We're moving to Chicagoland next week, kind of the same concept of a racetrack. Do you see the same people up at the top and in the front?
Yeah, I expect to see those guys running hard. I mean, week in, week out, those guys come in, they produce, they know what they're doing. I expect to see the same thing happen, though we may see some guys that typically we don't see make a hard charge up there. I know personally Chicagoland is a huge draft track. So if somebody does get rear end damage, front end damage, they're going to find themselves falling back quick. Could allow some advantage for those guys that may not be as quick, or some of those guys that could be a ringer at that track.
And Abram, I'll come to you. Chicagoland, I don't know if you find yourself in the car next week or not, but if you are in the car, it's typically a 3-4 groove racetrack there if you hold it correctly. Do you see the Xfinity cars being different than the trucks there on the free side or tight side?
You know what? I don't even know what to expect with them. I definitely, if you're 3 wide, definitely it's going to feel more free. If you're just 1 or 2 wide, it's definitely going to be more tight. But I expect it's one of Levi's favorite tracks. I expect him to be up there at the front. I think a lot of people are going to look back. They're going to take the cars to the garage, and they're going to try to figure out how to deal with this long run speed from Tommy and Sheldon and the Beef Jerky Unlimited team. Obviously, they've got that long run speed locked down, so a lot of guys are going to have a lot to work on this week and try to be there in the end.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Don't forget, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow for the Beef Jerky Unlimited Truck Series. We'll be heading to the Homestead Miami Speedway for Byron Jones, Abram Moon. I'm Terry Radford. For all the people at Top Esports, have a great rest of your night. Have a great Wednesday day. Don't forget, we'll see you tomorrow night. Good night and good evening from Arizona, from a different part of the world. It's